Hello, lovely people, and welcome to another episode of our Schillering Hub podcast, Talking Hospitality. If we are serious about creating the future of hospitality, we must think of more sustainable ways to build, maintain, and deliver hospitality. So today, I have Julien Bailly here with me, the founder of Una Bambu, a regenerative eco-resort in Sri Lanka, to share how his new concept can help hospitality to build a better future. Julien, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mauricio. Thanks a million for having me.
It's a pleasure. So I want to ask you and actually get our audience to be a little bit more acquainted with you. So tell us a little bit more about you and how you got where you are right now.
Thank you, Mauricio. So I'm Julien. I am now living in Sri Lanka for the last 4 years. What we are doing here, basically, we are building eco resorts made entirely of bamboo, clay, and natural materials.
How did the interest in the subject of building an eco-resort come about?
I've been traveling for most of my life. I visited more than 50 countries professionally, but also for leisure. And usually, when it's not professionally, we used to travel the slow way, traveling only by land or by seas, avoiding planes and everything. And that gave us the time to actually spend time in places and really realize after a few years that opening an eco resort will be something very good for us, and arriving in a country and I suppose developing this with the local community was definitely a major interest. So during our travels, the idea definitely came that we would love to work in hospitality, but not damaging the land where we will be setting us up.
That's what we all expecting that people will be doing in the near future, helping to make the land worth, not only abusing the land. So how did this idea of helping and building a better place actually become a business idea?
So it became a business idea when we arrived in Sri Lanka. So just before I was living in Australia, I was working in digital marketing, and that's what I've done most of my life. But we traveled for, as I mentioned, for a year and a half. And we actually traveled all in Southeast Asia. So we visited about 8 or 9 countries in this year and a half. And when we were in Australia, we decided that we wanted to change our life, basically. And we arrived in Sri Lanka already with the idea to open an eco resort. There was a lot of bamboo available in the island. We saw a lot of bamboo going around. So we went actually in Bali doing a bamboo course with Bamboo U. These are the same family that built the Green School and Ibuku, so it's quite famous in the bamboo world. So we went training with them, and when we arrived back, we hired Olaf from Nomadic Resort to design our eco hotel, and we started to try to find bamboo, and we discovered that there was no supply chain of bamboo. So actually that's added another layer to our regenerative aspect actually in the project, which is also developing the supply chain of bamboo and also sharing all the knowledge that we got through the years about bamboo, so we can actually build a hotel, but also for the greater good, so develop a new industry in Sri Lanka that isn't set up at all, but that would also resolve quite a few issues we have here in the island, but I'm sure all around the world, since the crisis with Ukraine, of the cost of building materials and everything. So I think we started to really develop kind of 2 aspects of our business. One is building our eco hotel, but also dealing with the supply chain in the country. So it's not only about our hotel, but also giving giving access to the material as well for other people to build houses with bamboo or using this amazing renewable material that is bamboo.
That's amazing to solve challenges and creating more actually business opportunities there. But most of it is interest of getting to solve the problem of the supply chain. Because when we talk about sustainability, I speak to a lot of people about that, asking questions and trying to figure it out what's happening. And supply chain probably is the biggest issue that I been encountering. A lot of people have great ideas, but they end up stopping on the supply chain and need to develop that part. What are the biggest challenges you are encountering in developing the Una Bambu?
Well, it's the supply chain. So basically, when we arrived, just to continue on what I was saying before, when we arrived, we thought bamboo was available. There's a lot of bamboo growing in the island. It's been growing for the last 20 years, but there is quite a few barriers. So at the moment, it is considered as a tree in the island. So in order to protect deforestation, harvesting and transporting wood in the country is quite challenging. But obviously bamboo is a grass, so it's very renewable. You can harvest older poles that are 4 years old every year. So that's one of the major barriers at the moment, and I think that's why nobody took the challenge of developing this supply chain. So we have seen some bamboo places in Sri Lanka, and unfortunately bamboo has been imported from other countries. So we decided that it was better for us to actually develop the supply chain and use the material we had available locally, because this is what sustainability is, right? So one of the biggest challenge was this. The second challenge was that in Sri Lanka, you don't really have bamboo carpenters. So last September, we actually organized a workshop with Yorksham, which is a master bamboo builder, in order to train local carpenters here in Sri Lanka so they can get the knowledge to be able to build with bamboo, so we can also develop our activities there. And the last challenge we have for us is finding an investor that is value aligned in order to help us financing the project.
That's amazing that you're working not only with the regenerative part of the environment part, but you're working with the community as well, right? And I see that this is the value that hospitality can provide.
Exactly.
It's not only how you harvest and how you work, but as you can join the community and gather them involved in that whole work. Well done to you.
I think that's one of the major part of regenerative or sustainable tourism or activities in general. Actually, it's making sure the community around us get involved, that we are able to share knowledge, and most importantly that we have their support, because I'm French, I'm living in Sri Lanka, so like the main point for me is that we all work together, you know, and I'm getting involved in this community where I live.
And why Una Bambu?
Why the name?
Why the whole concept?
So actually, Una Bambu means bamboo here. So it's a specific bamboo that is called Bamboo vulgaris. It's a yellow bamboo that is a bit everywhere in the island. So that was the natural name for our company, basically. And why Una Bambu? Actually, that was the hotel. Like the idea is that Una Bambu is our hotel. But Una Bambu, as we just spoke earlier, is becoming much more. You have the hotel aspect, but you have like all the rest. So the supply chain, the community aspect, the knowledge sharing aspect. So I think now we really have a brand that does multiple things. And once we'll have our hotel built, the hotel will be called Una to make short.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I see that you are developing mostly, and if I understood well, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the supply chain part of the business, it's more developed now and you are already working at it, while you are working in launching the eco resort, looking for an investor to help you launch the eco resort. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So the two activities are actually going parallel. Last September, when we invited Yorkshire to train the local carpenters, one really important thing for us was to build the prototype of one of the chalets, and that's what we did. After we have like all the supply chain aspect that is going parallel, because we obviously need bamboo in order to create this hotel. Very recently, a very interesting thing happened as well for us, is that we got in touch with a foundation that is present in the Philippines, and they definitely gonna help us to build this supply chain here in Sri Lanka. So there's really the two aspects going parallel, and of course we are looking for investors, and that's a kind of a never stopping activity that we are constantly doing. And I think all the parallel activities also show that we are truly regenerative. We are not taking shortcuts. We could have took shortcuts in the past, but we didn't. So we are really aligned, and we know where our business should be going.
That's super cool to learn that someone is out there really working on finding a solution for the challenge we have. And this is what we need, always people thinking about different ways of solving the challenge that we have for sustainability in hospitality. That's why we create this channel, to bring these voices up and show to people that there are different ways of doing what we've been doing for such a long time, and we need some change. And what I want to ask you really is, first, where could other hoteliers, because you spoke about education about the communities around you, where could hoteliers, for example, around Europe, find more information about how they could make a more sustainable hotel? I know that bamboo probably will be a challenge for them in here, but different ways of building. Where do you find your information, your research?
Well, I suppose, you just like, we usually look on how the people were doing before, so if you take 50 years ago, 100 years ago, how were the people living in the country? And I think that tells a lot. Prior to the massive industrialization of everything, people had solutions. And these solutions were developed over thousands of years, like depending on the countries. So what we are trying to look is actually to mimic how the people were doing before. So for example, for our walls, we want to use clay. Now you only find masons that are used to work with concrete. So you need to find back the people that were using the clay material. So I think usually is look at what was available before, try to find the people that still have the knowledge, and most importantly, keep this knowledge alive. And I think that's if the people really want to be truly sustainable, look what was used before and keep the knowledge alive, and that will be the best for everyone as well. So it's not only for you, but then after you can refer these people to other hoteliers that would like to use the same material or build something sustainably.
Thank you. That was a great answer. Let's look back in the past and try to reimagine the future. That's great. And let's talk about the future then. If you could foresee, what should people be expecting for the next decades when it comes to rebuilding this idea of hospitality in a sustainable world?
Yeah, so I think hotels should be a smaller size. I suppose, like around 20, 30 rooms maximum, and maybe smaller if they are in a place where local resources are scarce. I think experiential tourism is going to be something very important. People want to travel and meet the community. And again, we come back with the community aspect. If you're already in relation with the community aspect, you can give so much more to the visitors of that place. And also the learning aspect. So when you're in a place, you might want to learn how they are cooking, or maybe how they make musical instruments, or how are they building these clay walls. That's also a big part that Una wants to provide to our guests and stay. It's experiential tourism, and it's a learning part of tourism. Maybe some bikes tour around the area. So where people really get involved in the local community, and they can see how really people are living, and not only going from one room to the beach and back to their room.
That's very, very interesting. I wish that I get to see Una Bambu working. I get to experience all this as well, get more involved in the community, learn how to work with bamboo, because that's a curiosity I have myself. And for people that would like to get in touch with you, learn more about Una Bambu or about yourself, or investors that would like to learn a little bit more, how they can contact you, please, Julien?
So they can contact me as Julien at unabambu.com. So that's JULIEN at UNABAMBU.com. Or visit also our website, unabambu.com, or follow us also on Instagram. We are at Una Bambu. And we post regularly about our adventure. And actually, there is a movie or a documentary about bamboo going out very soon. So if you follow us on Instagram, or if you follow us on our website, or even on LinkedIn, you'll see this amazing 1-hour documentary about bamboo in Sri Lanka going out very soon.
That's awesome. I'll put all your contact details on the description of this podcast. It was a pleasure to talk to you, to learn more about Una Bambu and learn more how hospitality can do a better work with sustainability, working together, not against each other. So thank you very much for your time, Julien. I really appreciate you on the show.
Thanks, Mauricio, and thanks again, for giving a voice to a regenerative tourism venture like us.
We're doing our best. We hope that more people will listen and get inspired by stories like yours. Thank you very much, Julien. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.